These are 20 banned LEGO items, starting with the LEGO Jabba's Palace set. If you're not very familiar with Star Wars, this set probably seems like a harmless rendition of a classic movie scene to you. But for those in the know, this set was wildly inappropriate for children, with Jabba being the equivalent of a space pimp running an illegal underground club. To make matters worse, the set also heavily resembled a real club of wild popularity in Istanbul, so much so that LEGO received numerous complaints from Istanbul demanding a public apology, leading to LEGO pulling the set from shelves everywhere, forever. Now, if you're an adult who's an avid watcher of The Simpsons and a fan of LEGO, then the LEGO Simpsons set was perfectly crafted for you and your interests. The problem with this set was that, well, it's a LEGO, and the most common customer for LEGO sets are children, and all it took was a couple of curious children to go home and ask their parents about the Simpsons LEGO set, and who the Simpsons actually were, to start raising red flags. After many proactive parents called in to complain to LEGO, this legendary set unfortunately had to be tossed, never to be seen again. A tougher topic to explain to toddlers and LEGO fans alike, however, would be the official LEGO Shell partnership sets. Older LEGO fans probably remember the controversy surrounding the set's release after the environmental activist group Greenpeace took to social media and petitions alike running campaigns to protest the partnership. Although LEGO pieces are primarily made out of plastic, and Shell is an oil company, the partnership still came to an end in 2014, with the set being shelved and LEGO staying true to its theme of avoiding public controversies. And when it comes to public controversy, LEGO unfortunately is no stranger. Following in the footsteps of Fortnite and other major brands, LEGO actually shelves all of their LEGO police sets after the George Floyd riots in 2020, with the toy brand feeling as though their police-themed sets no longer match their brand's values, and the sales of which would be too controversial to continue with. In fact, to this day, you still can't find officially licensed LEGO police sets on shelves anywhere, including official LEGO City sets. Seems like that thin blue line wasn't talking about 1x4 blue LEGO bricks, now was it? Following the theme of violence and brutality not being accepted in the LEGO community comes the unfortunate circumstances behind one of the coolest sets ever conceived, the V-22 Osprey. This set had it all: a crazy attention to detail, movable parts, beautiful colors, and hundreds of pieces. It was a collector's dream, but unfortunately for LEGO and LEGO fans alike, the set was pulled from stores just 10 days before its intended release. The issue here lies in the licensing rights behind the Osprey itself. See, although LEGO rebranded the military vehicle to be a search and rescue plane rather than a war machine, it didn't matter, as LEGO had to pay for the rights to even make the set in the first place, meaning all sales would be contributing to the Bell Boeing Company, aka Boeing's military division. It seemed like LEGO was unaware of the perception of the connection until the German government reached out to LEGO representatives, asking them if they were sure they wanted to move forward with the set choice. And surely enough, LEGO got cold feet and lifted the product before it could ever make it to stores anywhere. Now, when you think of dark, you probably don't think of Legos, but unfortunately, for a brief period of time, any visitors of the Center for Contemporary Art in Ujazdowski Castle, Warsaw did. See, a famous Polish artist by the name of Zbigniew Labera reached out to LEGO to get approval for a set piece that he was planning on designing to put in the museum. LEGO, without properly checking what, why, or how, simply said yes and gave him the stamp of approval. When it was revealed that the artist would be portraying the horrors behind the Holocaust using none other than thousands of officially licensed LEGO bricks, LEGO demanded that the artist and museum pull the plug on the exhibit indefinitely. Unfortunately for LEGO, the set was put on display whether they liked it or not, since they'd already given the prior approval, and LEGO had to go on to say that their contribution didn't necessarily mean they sponsored the idea, as to keep the idea of the Holocaust separate from their brand. When it comes to being a kids brand ran by adults, it's hard to know where to draw the line with gifts to employees. For all you know, the people who work for you may also be collectors and avid fans of the product, or have children who are. And when LEGO graciously gifted many of their Danish employees with bottles of wine in a LEGO branded box in 1997, it became quite the historical moment, one I'm sure LEGO's future wouldn't be the happiest with. The goal was more than likely just to be a happy and kind gift to those who worked their heart out to make the brand successful and keep it alive going into the 21st century. But with celebration comes photos, and with photos comes questions. Let things go unaddressed for a decade or two, and soon enough you have Redditors everywhere wondering how they can get their own hands on official LEGO wine, a concept that already isn't particularly brand friendly. And when it comes to protecting their brand, LEGO are ruthless. With the changing over into the 21st century, we actually get to live through many social changes alongside extreme technological advancement. I mean, 30 years ago, you probably didn't have an iPhone, and now over 70% of you are watching this video on one. But an even bigger change than the iPhone has been the social dilemma surrounding cigarettes and smoking. And if you're a LEGO insider or older LEGO fan, you probably remember these officially licensed LEGO lighters and ashtrays. That's right, even your favorite kids brand once helped mommy and daddy light up a stogie on a cool Sunday afternoon. For a long time, smoking was socially accepted, with it even being normalized on planes, in restaurants, and in hospitals. Nobody knew just how bad it was, and when stop smoking campaigns became the new norm, so too did banning smoking-related products, and that includes LEGO. LEGO went out of their way to erase every trace of lighters, ashtrays, matches, and more that you originally could find in stores and shelves everywhere. Nowadays, if you ask anybody about it, it's unlikely they'll even know what you're talking about. Smoking may be controversial, but almost nothing beats racism, and unfortunately for LEGO and their Native American fans, LEGO isn't a stranger to racism. Before the general public was more socially aware of bigot terminology, the idea of the Redskins was pretty commonplace. You had football teams named after the term, movies referencing the term, and most importantly, an officially licensed LEGO set called the Red Indians. It was clear that the set's intended goal was to reach a new audience of potential buyers through representation. But with the unfortunate name and the changing over of public opinion, the set very quickly had to be shelved and erased from the history books forever. Nobody wants to get cancelled, especially not LEGO. On a lighter and brighter side of things, these LEGO Mixels set weren't banned for any of the reasons we've stated above. As you can tell, they weren't racist, dangerous, or flat out bad for you physically. Unfortunately for LEGO, these things were the stuff of nightmares. Despite them selling incredibly well and quickly becoming many people's fan-favorite sets, the team behind LEGO decided that the designs weren't too kid-friendly, with them being cursed, outrageous looking, or just downright scary. It didn't fit LEGO's general brand scheme of being cool toys for kids, and quickly had the company wondering why they ever put the sets out at all. To the tune of dismay of their former fans, LEGO Mixels were shelved indefinitely, never to be seen again. LEGO just can't seem to catch a break either when it comes to scary designs, because LEGO Mixels aren't the only design that had to be banned for being too scary for kids. You're probably aware that LEGO's entire character brand is focused on these. They're called minifigures, or minifigs for short. With the advancement of technology came a lot of companies trying out new ideas. And in the case of LEGO, they weren't going to miss out on the possibility of discovering the next new hot toy design. Unluckily for LEGO, these electronic Super Mario designs flat out sucked. Not only were they clunky and unbearable, but the things were absolutely terrifying to kids everywhere when they ran low or completely out of power. They looked like haunted, possessed fat monster versions of everyone's favorite Nintendo characters, and LEGO and Nintendo alike agreed on removing the designs forever pretty quickly after the launch. I mean, these things were the opposite of Mixels in that they didn't even sell well either. I don't know what anybody was thinking when they made them. LEGO's banned and pulled a lot of sets from stores worldwide, but when it comes to general concepts, LEGO's actually only gotten rid of a few, one of which being LEGO clown sets entirely. After the 2016 clown killer trend that somehow isn't talked about nearly enough, LEGO decided to pull every clown set off of store shelves indefinitely. I can't blame them either. It seemed like killer clowns were a nationwide epidemic, with seemingly thousands of people all just unanimously agreeing to go out on murdering and kidnapping sprees in clown costumes, something you can't really have closely associated with a wildly popular kids brand. What was probably worse for the kids, however, was the idea that Santa might drop through your chimney absolutely bare naked. Yep, this LEGO Santa set from 2010 featured a naked Santa, for some reason. To this day, there's been no explanation as to why Santa was in his birthday suit when he decided to take off with Rudolph and the other reindeer to visit your house, but the general implication behind it left most people saying the same thing. No, LEGO was a whole lot faster than Santa on Christmas with this set's removal, however, saving them from a potential PR nightmare in the new digital age. I mean, could you imagine naked Santa trending on Twitter just a few years later? And even worse, finding out that they're talking about Legos? Just me? Okay, moving on. LEGO's a lot like Fortnite in the sense that it's always been a company tradition to collaborate with other IPs. LEGO Star Wars, LEGO Mario, but many fans on the LEGO Reddit and LEGO Ideas website alike have wondered why LEGO's never collaborated with Zelda. I mean, they already have an in with Nintendo through their Mario collab, and they're LEGO, the most popular toy company in the world. It's become a big mystery with speculation around the idea being that someone else already has the licensing rights. Something's up. And neither neither LEGO nor Nintendo are ever going to tell us why. But what about a game that's arguably even more popular in the modern age than Zelda? What about Among Us? Well, this one's easy. Despite the set ideas and fan-made concepts being cool, Among Us is a game centered around deception, lies, and murdering your fellow crewmates, all things that aren't on brand with LEGO's values. To make matters worse, the sets are downright terrifying for younger kids, and materializing these video concepts into real-world examples through the power of LEGO is an idea that LEGO's just not a fan of. Especially after that whole Nazi thing we're totally not supposed to mention. I mean, have you seen the VR clips of children being chased in Among Us? Why would LEGO ever approve these? Unfortunately for LEGO, even with strict brand guidelines, some sets have found a way to sneak through the cracks due to plain and simple oversight. Who would have thought that a harmless Prohibition-era LEGO town would find a way to get pulled and banned by LEGO? Maybe it was the idea that the town and set were literally meant to illustrate one of America's darker time periods. Although the set and concept hold historical significance and are very educative and informative, they're just not the kid-friendly toy and sometimes games that LEGO is known for. Mario doesn't drink, LEGO men don't drink, and you shouldn't either, kids. But you know who does drink? A lot? Bender, the robot from Futurama. Similar to The Simpsons, Futurama was and still is a wildly popular show. So much so that it's considered a cult classic. Don't believe me? Ask your dad. He definitely knows it. It's so popular, in fact, that it's been suggested to LEGO so many times that they actually had to ban the suggestion altogether. That's right. You quite literally cannot suggest Futurama as a concept to LEGO anymore because of just how many submissions they've received over the last few years. And I can't even blame LEGO. Yes, the show's wildly popular, but so are drugs, alcohol, and petty crime, and none of that screams LEGO, or does it? The LEGO City Crooks hideout is just another example of an unfortunate LEGO design that had to be pulled and banned from shelves and stores everywhere. The set depicts a would-be break-in in the city of LEGO City, with the perpetrator's goal being to steal from the house he's broken into. This one's pretty unlucky, don't get me wrong. It's a cool set design, but breaking and entering and theft just aren't LEGO things to do. I mean, could you imagine what would happen if hundreds of parents complained to the company? Oh wait, they already did, resulting in the set being banned forever. Definitely a more odd one for LEGO was the LEGO Balaclava. For one, when it comes to general branding ideas, this barely represents LEGO. All it's got going on for it is the LEGO brick on the forehead area, and that's about it. They're not big and yellow, featuring any LEGO designs, they're just balaclavas. And LEGO has a history of pulling officially licensed LEGO clothing for being boring. We don't really need to explain to you why making a red logo bandana and a balaclava together might not be the best choice of combination. I'm sure your imagination can run wild with the concepts on its own. Now, when it comes to being on brand, LEGO has some other problems it often faces with its community, and that comes from low-quality designs, whether it be overpriced Star Wars sets or any of its LEGO Belleville sets ever made, at all. It doesn't matter what set you pick out or why. Every single LEGO Belleville set that has ever seen the light of day is cheap, weird-looking, or downright a waste of money in its purest form. This was solely a long-term cash grab from the toy-making giant that lasted far too long. These designs were awful, and avid LEGO fans everywhere hated them, but somehow they just kept coming out. A grand total of 88 sets were put out from 1994 to 2009, with it finally being discontinued. The worst of all, though, had to be the Belleville Baby. I mean, look at this thing. It's a monster! And if Mixels were somehow too scary for kids, then this thing had to have spawned a few dozen nightmares.